Paragraph 3. The stratosphere begins at the top of the troposphere and extends to about 50 kilometers above the Earth's surface. As you move up into the stratosphere, the air temperature actually increases. Thinking about this? Air temperature goes up as you go up in the atmosphere. So the temperature increases as you go up in the atmosphere. Okay, so that's a little different. In fact, that's an inverted temperature pattern compared to the troposphere. The troposphere got colder as you went up into the atmosphere, but the stratosphere gets warmer as you go up. This occurs because of ozone. Ozone is a form of oxygen, O3, that absorbs solar radiation and releases it as heat. We'll take a look at the ozone cycle later. Let's just grab our green-colored pencil and do this in green. So the ozone layer is in the stratosphere. So the stratosphere begins at the top of the troposphere. What was the top of the troposphere? About 14 kilometers. And why don't we just make that 15 kilometers? 15 is easy to remember. And the thickness of the troposphere actually varies between the poles and the equator. In fact, it's quite a bit of difference. It's a lot thicker at the equator than it is at the poles. So we're going to say an average of about 15 kilometers. And extends to 50 kilometers above the surface. Now that doesn't mean that it's 50 kilometers thick. It's 50 kilometers above the surface. The top of the troposphere is 15 kilometers above the surface. So if the top of the stratosphere is 50 kilometers above the surface, then the stratosphere would be about 35 kilometers thick. As you move up into the stratosphere, the air temperature actually increases. Okay, so we have some key ideas coming in here. This occurs because of ozone, so the stratosphere also is where the ozone layer is found when we study the atmosphere. And ozone is a gas molecule. We sometimes classify it as a greenhouse gas because it does release heat, but it doesn't absorb thermal radiation. It actually absorbs ultraviolet radiation as radiant energy enters Earth's atmosphere. So the ozone layer serves as a filter. It filters UV radiation. Not all of it, but a significant amount. So not all. So the ozone layer is an important gas in the atmosphere to help filter some of the ultraviolet radiation entering Earth's atmosphere. Your blue-colored pencil, the stratosphere begins at the top of the troposphere and extends to about 50 kilometers above Earth's surface. The air temperature actually increases as you move up. And the ozone layer is found in the stratosphere. And the important thing about the ozone layer is it helps to filter ultraviolet radiation so that we do not turn into crispy critters as the solar radiation enters our atmosphere. So make sure you have this marked. Pause it if you need to. Okay, so I just want you to take a quick look at this sketch and notice that we've just kind of laid out the thicknesses of the atmosphere over on this side. So the troposphere, we're going to call it 15 kilometers. And the stratosphere, we're going to call it 35 kilometers. The top of the stratosphere being then at 50 kilometers. So the temperatures show from about 13 degrees Celsius is about our ambient temperature on the surface of the Earth, 13 to 15 degrees Celsius. And the temperature drops to negative 60 degrees at 15 kilometers. So for now, we don't have in our notes in this reading a temperature for the top of the stratosphere. I think you probably have it in your notes for the brain pop video. And so as you're thinking about your rough draft model, please make sure you get these temperatures correct, and you also get these thicknesses of the atmosphere. So here's the first two layers of the atmosphere. I would get this sketched. So you should begin to have some bullets or some notes of different characteristics of the atmosphere, and you can actually put them into bullets, and or you can show sketches. Like if the troposphere has weather, you might put some clouds in here because clouds would indicate weather. You could even show some rain or some snow. Okay, make sure you have all of this in your journal or on your reading, and we'll take a look at paragraphs 4 and 5 and finish up this reading.